Hello, beautiful souls. This is Tisha from Astrology, bringing you weekly astrology reflections for 11 to 17 December 2025. The theme this week is inclusiveness, being helpful. Today, I open this week's reflection with an intention inspired by the moon in Virgo, which is a sign that finds comfort in being of service. I find comfort in helping, being useful, and expressing love through helpful actions. As I spend time with my family for the holidays, I've been thinking a lot about this intention. Helping can be a beautiful offering, an act of love, connection, and inclusiveness. But how we help matters. How can I be helpful without smothering, be supportive without interfering, loving without overcompensating, present without controlling? These questions shape our theme for the week. Inclusiveness through being helpful. This kind of help that uplifts, empowers, and brings harmony rather than stress. And beautifully enough, this astrology this week supports this reflection through a series of aspects that blend intuition, clarity, empathy, and disciplined action. Let's walk through the celestial landscape together. On 11 December, Mercury in Scorpio trines Neptune in Pisces. We begin with a deeply intuitive current. Mercury in Scorpio dives into emotional truth, while Neptune in Pisces dissolves boundaries, enhances the imagination, compassion, and spiritual insight. This kind of energy allows us to sense what others need without them saying a word. Meaningful help comes from understanding, subtle listening, and emotional awareness. A reminder that true helping begins with truly seeing. Inclusiveness here is empathic connection. 11 December, the moon in Virgo squares the sun in Sagittarius. On the same day, we hit a tension point. The moon in Virgo wants to tidy, organize, refine, and improve. The sun in Sagittarius wants freedom, spontaneity, and philosophical exploration. This square asks us to balance the instinct to micromanage with the desire to let things unfold. It teaches us being helpful isn't about controlling the moment, it's about contributing to it. Inclusiveness becomes a dance between detail and vision, between service and allowing space for the other person. On 12 December, Mercury enters Sagittarius. As Mercury shifts into Sagittarius, our thoughts broaden and communication becomes open, bold, and honest, and sometimes blunt. We focus on the big picture, purpose, and meaning. Helpful communication this week means choosing clarity over criticism, warmth over worry, and honesty that uplifts rather than overwhelms. Inclusiveness becomes through sharing with kindness. 13 December, Mercury in Sagittarius in sextile with Pluto in Aquarius. This aspect brings intense, empowering conversations, ideas that change perspectives, insights that expand beyond the individual and touch the collective. Here, helpfulness means using your voice to inspire growth, offer wisdom, and be a catalyst for positive change. Inclusiveness expands into elevating the group through insight. 14 December, Mars in Sagittarius square Neptune in Pisces. This is where the energy becomes confusing. Mars wants action, while Neptune offers dreams, intuition, and sometimes fog. The result? Hesitation, uncertainty, or misdirected effort. Here, being helpful requires gentleness both with yourself and with others. It's okay not to have the answers. It's okay for motivations to feel unclear. Be understanding, especially with the parts of ourselves that are still figuring things out. 14 December, Mars in Libra, sextile Sun in Sagittarius. A light-heartening moment follows. Libra brings grace, diplomacy, and harmony, and Sagittarius gives enthusiasm and warmth. Together, they open space for collaboration and understanding. This is a day to bridge differences, smooth tensions, and create connections. Being helpful here is simple. Be kind, be fair, be open. Inclusiveness becomes the joy of relating. 15 December, Mars enters Capricorn. A powerful shift. Mars in Capricorn is disciplined, steady, focused, and strong. This is the energy of strategic progress, long-term building, and practical efficiency. This is the kind of help that gets things done. A contribution that's grounded, reliable, and meaningful. Inclusiveness here becomes a shared effort. It's helping through commitment and perseverance. 17 September, the Sun in Sagittarius squares Saturn in Pisces. This week ends with sobering grounding square. The Sun in Sagittarius wants to expand, while Saturn in Pisces brings limits, responsibilities, and emotional reality checks. This energy reminds us that being helpful is not always easy. It requires boundaries, patience, and sometimes a pause before acting. Inclusiveness becomes responsible compassion, which means supporting others without losing yourself. On closing reflection this week, helping becomes a practice of mindfulness. True inclusiveness isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right thing at the right time in the right spirit. As you move through this week, let this be your guiding question. How can I help in ways that uplift rather than overwhelm? Because when help is thoughtful, gentle, and rooted in love, it becomes a gift that nourishes both the giver and the receiver. For deeper weekly guidance, natal sessions, astrology workshop, visit Astrology, Sia Astrology. Thank you for being here. Until next week, be inclusive and helpful.